Okay, welcome to the Crow Discovery Project. I have literally weeks of going through clips, but I figured I'd grab some low-hanging fruit here. I've got an interesting clip here, and I'd like to start off with going over one of the stills that was from my video yesterday. Here's two planes. One is spraying chemtrails, one is not. But you'll notice a circle over the one on the bottom. As I was reviewing things, I noticed there's an orb in this shot. And of quite a few of the chem shots that I did in New England, there are little orbs there. And while I won't run them all because they're just stills, I will point them out. At any rate, as we traveled down the coast out of New England, by the time we got to about Baltimore, chemtrailing started to get very noticeable. This is a telephoto shot that was shot while we went over a bridge because I didn't really have much desire to go into Washington, D.C. Not much there that I'm interested in, but having said that, it is some kind of a marker for chemtrailing. In this area, it began to pick up in a serious way, and by the time we got down to Virginia, my jaw was hanging open. I have never seen the likes of it. Living in San Diego, all this time, we've had a day here or there where it even began to approach what these people are seeing nonstop. So what I was doing here was full spectrum filming the moon when I saw a chemplane on the right trajectory for me to take a go at it with the scope, and lo and behold, I snagged that sucker and I kept him in frame for about 7 minutes. So I want to run this clip for all the people out there who say chemtrails are not real. If you can watch this footage and not understand that this plane is spraying just voluminous amounts of crap into the air, I don't know what to tell you. There's no level of communication we will ever reach. Look at this. I mean, this is through an 11-inch telescope that I was traveling with, and this is almost an impossible task to get a Schmidt-Cassegrain style scope onto a moving object like this. And what I figured out was if the scope is pointed in the right direction, similar to the trajectory of the plane, it is possible to do this. Not easy, but possible. So I ran this until this guy hit just about vanishing point, and while I won't run all of that, I think this is a critical piece of footage because so many people out there, I don't know, don't look up, trust their government, can't imagine that this is going on, but look at this footage. This is a plane shot at roughly 40,000 feet with an 11-inch telescope and a full spectrum camera, and that is chem debris billowing out of the back of that plane. There's just no other way to describe it. So to me, this is a critically important piece of footage because I have never been able to use my telescope to get a chem plane in frame for so long. As the night went on, we were filming the moon, and I decided I was going to try to take a run at another chem plane whose trajectory was not quite right, but after doing this one I was feeling pretty bold and I thought maybe I can pull it off. So that's the footage I'm going to load right now. So there goes the moon. I'm swinging over right now to try to find the tail of the chem plane, the actual chemtrail, and watch what happens here. I pick up the chemtrail and I start to track down to try to catch up with the plane, and look what I see. I see this little dot. Now, it's deceiving. It's not very dark outside. It's deceiving. It's right as the sun is about to go down because I'm shooting with a full spectrum camera. When I first hit this, my first reaction was there's no way that there's a star bright enough for me to be picking it up like this. Then I started to second guess myself because I was shooting in full spectrum, thinking that maybe it's possible. So my navigator, my host, scrambled to get stellarium going, some star maps, and the binoculars out, and we could not see this thing with binoculars, with our eyes, any visual way we attempted, we could not see it. When we got on stellarium, I could visually locate Antares, which is a star called the heart of the Scorpion. I could locate Saturn in the sky. And so I started thinking, well, the only other thing possibly bright enough this could be would be one of the claws of the Scorpion, which is doubtful. There's a couple stars called, I think, Juvenel Shanubi and Zubenel Shamali or something like that, which are the stars that mark the claws of the Scorpion. But they were in the wrong place. So the longer this went on, we began to realize that the full spectrum camera was picking up this very bright object that could not be seen in the visual spectrum. So what I did is I stayed on it for a long time, and it did not drift in the same way the background stars drifted, which was my final test to tell me this thing was something unusual. This thing was parked up there and going barely straight up in frame, while the background stars, as it got, this isn't actually quite dark, I've manipulated ISO down, but it's close to dark here, and the background stars, like I said, I could see the heart of the Scorpion Antares was drifting to the right in an arc, and this object was drifting ever so slightly upward. The other astonishing thing, that only the full spectrum camera could see this object, is on the right. Here's Saturn, which we shot the same night. And give me a second here, I'm going to tune it in to demonstrate that this object's magnitude is actually brighter than Saturn, and Saturn was just below a magnitude 1, 0.7 something, I think. But look at that. This is an object that we could not see in the visual spectrum that was spotted because we were looking at chemtrails. And in this part of the country, the people told me there they have not seen a sunset or a sunrise in over 2.5 years due to chemtrailing. This was later on in the night. As the chemtrails got so bad, I was beginning to lose the moon, so I swung over to get some Saturn footage. What I can tell you is down in Virginia, and from about Washington down, but down in Virginia, the chemtrailing is so heavy that it staggers the imagination. It is mind-blowing. There was never a moment of the day when high-altitude, mid-level, and low-altitude planes were not flying. And talking to the people who were there, they said this is a daily event. They all have orgone devices, orgone cannons, and they literally soak carpets with vinegar and spray vinegar down their driveways to try to combat what is going on. Anyhow, switching topics, Houston Skywatch has been is coming up in an interview with me, and the reason I chose to, of all the people I could have spoken to, I chose kind of an obscure channel, Houston Skywatch, is because he's doing the work, and that's what I'm interested in. What he's doing is not easy. As a matter of fact, it's damn difficult, and I know this because I do it. And I would just ask, you know, if you folks that follow me have an interest in the lunar wave, give the brother a leg up. Go follow him. Go subscribe to his channel. Give him input. Let him know how he can make his channel better. We've got a big opportunity to try to catch the lunar wave in September, and this guy's been at it over 1.5 years, having caught no lunar waves. So the fact that he just stuck with it is pretty amazing. Anyhow, I've got a ton more footage to come. I'll be reviewing and posting as I can. So here's what I've got to date. Cheers.